All right, this is our monthly city council meeting. It's August 18th, 2026. With that, we have some audio questions. I'm not sure the people that are on the Zoom, if they can hear us. Text. Mel, if you have a question, it's the meeting is being recorded. We're not sure. We had a person in here about 2 weeks ago giving us some updated software, and I thought we'd used it since then, but maybe we haven't. But apologize for the lack of audio if you can't hear us, or we can't hear you either. So with that, we'll do call to order at 6:35.
Mayor Eichhorst,
Here.
Councilor Pendergrass.
Here.
Councilor Phillips.
Here.
Councilor Reisdorfer.
I'm here.
And Councilor Spring.
Here.
Staff,
Joe's on Zoom, and
Joe,
Is Mike on Zoom?
Morgan, we have Morgan,
Johan is here. Yeah.
thank you.
Is Mike on there tonight?
Mike is not on.
Morgan is here instead
Oh,
of
Morgan,
Mike.
okay. All right. Okay, with that, we have, I make a motion, we approve the agenda. Okay, is there any? I have nothing to add, change, or amend, so with that, there's no changes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Hi.
All
Do we
right.
have to do roll call since Marie's not here?
I
think we do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, thank you.
So with, just to make sure we get everybody's vote, so. When you're,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
yep,
no, so we'll do a voice vote on all the motions tonight with Marie's on the phone, so
thank you.
thanks, Paul.
Mayor Eichhorst.
Here.
Councilor Pendergrass.
Here.
Councilor Phillips.
Here.
Councilor Reisdorfer.
Here, I.
Councilor Spring.
Here.
Well, that's just for an eye
Aye.
for the
Aye.
agenda.
Yes, ayes, yeah. Okay, it's approved.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just a FYI, I don't think anyone else on Zoom can hear. It was there for like 15 seconds or 20 seconds and then it's gone now again. So I can hear because I'm on the phone, but
I will message each of them that we're having audio
Do we have to
issues.
hit the invite button?
Mm.
Now there's our speaker, our microphone.
That was from, That's a note for the people that are watching.
Mr. Mayor, I hate to disturb, but is this being recorded visually though?
Yep,
Okay, thank
and
you.
we do have audio being recorded on the secondary device.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay, there's the
We have
video. Okay,
Facebook
I think we can proceed. All right, public forum is next. This is a 3-minute time limit per person. The city council welcomes, encourages participation from community members. Please keep in mind that your comments may be pertinent to city business and must adhere to data privacy rules. No employee's name may be used. Please do not expect action from the council this evening regarding your concerns. To address the city council during public forum, please step up to the podium, state your name and address, and fill out the form provided at the podium. Speakers will be recognized once. You will be timed. Begin speaking when the green card is raised by Mel. The yellow card indicates you have 30 seconds left, and the red card indicates you have reached your 3-minute time limit and must stop. So with that, we'll open the public forum at 6:38. So if anybody would like to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Stephen Norland, 845 First Street Northwest, Orinoco, AKA Aaron Brockovich, wannabe. That's how I'm known as by my friends. In that case, the city of Hinckley thought there was no wrongdoing also. How can the city of Orinoco, the question is, how is the city of Orinoco doing on compliance of Minnesota statute 301B.03? To me, it looks like this matter's not going away. What looks like only to be compounded possibly into phase 1B. I'd like to thank you all who took me up on my offer to have you come over to my home. If I was a woman, I could have had a baby by now. Thank you.
Anybody like to speak for the public forum? Please step to the podium. Second call for public forum. I don't suppose we can hear anybody from the. And third and final call for public forum. Seeing none, we'll close the public forum at 6:40 p.m. Okay, we have no public hearings. In your pamphlet is the sheriff's report. I don't think Sergeant Wren is here. I did notice a reduction in the traffic stops from last month, which is a concern. I was gonna follow up with him because it was 17, 19 last year,
Yeah,
last month.
pretty good. I noticed that we had
7.
ordinance violations. 3 of those that normally I didn't see before, and 7 assists.
Mm-hmm, yep. All right. No other comments? We'll move on to employee relations. First item is page 9 and 10 are administrative days, what we've done in 2026, and Mel put together a list of the holidays for 2027 for proposed admin days.
Make a motion to approve those days.
I'll second that.
The only ones we're actually approving are the ones that the council needs, right? Because the rest of them are federal holidays.
Yes, except for the gold rush and,
Correct.
yes, that's
The
right.
day after Thanksgiving.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor with a voice vote?
Voice vote, yeah.
Mayor Eichhorst,
Aye.
Councilor Pendergrass,
Aye.
Councilor Phillips,
Aye.
Councilor Reisdorfer,
Aye.
Councilor Spring.
Aye. Okay. Next item is a update and a continuation of memo from Melissa regarding our city clerk recruitment process, where we're at, and request to, or I should say, I'll make a motion. We approve the administration to proceed with a second posting period for the city clerk position. If the Employee Relations Committee determines no suitable candidate is identified through the initial recruitment interview process.
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay. So right now, Jim, okay. So right now, the open period is through the 21st, I believe.
Okay.
So,
Do we have anybody that looked close as what we were doing
Um,
for stuff?
based on what we've received today, we've not received most of them have not met the minimum qualifications. So,
Okay.
which was our city clerk position, 3 to 5 years experience, so it's not, we're hoping for better results, but we think we'd like to consider opening the period for a little bit longer. We just got one this weekend, I think, came in. It's very short, not short, but very scattered throughout the whole period, but yeah.
So that person hasn't been interviewed yet.
What's that?
That person hasn't been interviewed yet.
We have not
No,
done any
no,
interviews.
no one's been interviewed. We
Right.
just did screening.
Okay,
Right. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye, or voice vote.
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye.
Counselor Pendergrass.
Aye.
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Rice-River,
Aye.
Counselor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
The next item is our 2022 Skag Turf Tiger 2 mower sealed bid. There's a memo in page 12 in the packet from Kane, our Public Works Director, requesting a motion to approve the sale through a closed sealed bid sale.
have we seen, we haven't seen the bids though, right?
We received 4 bids, Paul. 4,000 was the low bid, 4,500 was the next, 6,200 was the next, 6,800 was the top bid. I would request that the council accept that $6,800 bid.
I mean, I know we took 7 for the last one, so it's close enough.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the $6,800 bid that we had on closed bid.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Mayor Ikorst, oh, sorry.
Yeah, any other comments?
Yeah, does that bridge your gap that you need?
It does, it
Okay.
does. I think I'm right at 10.5 left in the budget, so the new one's 17, right at 17, so just barely.
Okay.
So I will be picking up the new mower later this week. That is the plan, so.
Any other comments? The voice vote, all those,
Mayor Ikorst,
aye?
Counselor Pendergrass,
Aye.
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Rice-River,
Aye.
Counselor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Water and sewer is next. So, the first request from the water and sewer, I make a motion, we expend up to $5,000 from the 600 utility fund for professional engineering services by Stan Tech to research and engage regulatory and funding agencies to develop Phase 1B, Part 1 and 2 strategies to position Orinoco for grant funding through Point Source Implementation Grant, state revolving fund loans, and related grant and programs.
Second?
I was looking on this, the engaged Orinoco Township, what's that part that there is? And regulatory agencies regarding the importance of the watershed fee improvements.
Well, this is just, you're asking about the township, why it's not
Yeah, I
added?
just was wondering where that was in there. I can understand the identifying strategies, okay. So I just didn't know about the other part of it with
Oh, okay.
township. That's-
Yeah, that's a good point. This was mainly just to help with getting the funding and the forms and a program or process of how we're going to go about looking at funding. You know, right now, there's no funding to identify the strategies for Part 1, which is Part E and H, I think it is. And Part 2 is the other ones. I'm not sure what D is there. It's probably D and P. But those are, it's just a vehicle to pay for those expenses of putting that information together. We really don't have a fund to support that, but this is we have the funds in the utility fund to do that, so that's what we think would be the best approach to it, not using our taxpayer money right now.
I'm just kinda curious.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Any other comments?
It's all coming from the utility funds, so.
Right.
Right,
It's already
the
there.
utility fund's been doing very well, and this is one opportunity to use this money in a very meaningful way, so. Okay, any other comments? And the letter, explains it as well, Mel put together, so it's pretty straightforward, I think, so. And it's also gonna, to your point in the memo, there is reference to engaging the township regarding the importance of sewer should be improvements relative to our Orinoco drinking water protection and our wellhead protection plan too, so.
Have those township properties, have they requested to be added to this or?
No, well, we have not had those meetings or discussions with the township supervisors first. And we have not, there was 6 of the 20 people that were here for the open house were from the township, so there is an interest. And there could be some along 12th Avenue, which is the far north, which has the sewer and the water lines going
Already on
from,
that.
so.
Already on that road.
And they could be annexed individually, is one way, but that has, certain things that have to be worked out with easements and assessment, not easements, but assessments too, so. But I think we're hopeful that we can have those conversations with the township supervisors till we can put more, emphasis on why we think it's important, so. No other comments? Take a voice vote.
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye?
Counselor Pendergrass,
Aye.
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Reisdorfer,
Aye.
Counselor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, administration is the next item. Environmental Water Services LLC contract, and Kane, if you just want to come to the podium, if there's any questions with Rick and Justin.
Yes, council, Rick Whitney, Justin Lenhart, they are here to, well, they've got an agreement for wastewater operation services at our wastewater plant.
Okay.
So tonight we'll be requesting the city award
Good to see you guys.
contract to Rick and Justin. I'll let them take it over.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, guys.
Before we start discussion, I'll just go ahead and make a motion to approve the new wastewater operations agreement with Environmental Water Services LLC beginning December 1st, 2026 to replace People Service.
I'll
Second.
All-
Okay.
Okay, please go
Do you
ahead.
have any questions for me or anything? We came here fully prepared to answer some questions, so if you have any.
Well, I think that's,
What is the contract?
So it's for right now, it's a period of 3 years. We would take over, operations of your current wastewater treatment plant. We're gonna train up your city for staff and personnel and attempt to get that turned over to the city as an asset instead of it being held hostage by a contractor.
okay, this is
And get it in
not a
compliance.
public hearing, so
Okay,
just the
sorry.
council will address questions and answers, so no problem.
So, do you
That's
guys
for the
have any
audience.
questions?
Well,
Awareness
one
too.
thing that I liked that was in there was to oversee and assist the city on training and guidance as needed, and I think that we've already worked on that last month on what was going on, so I think that was one thing we were missing, so very good.
Yes, I think it's-
That seems.
So the other thing I wanted to do, and I'm sure Justin will do it later at a later point as well, is I wanted to drop off some business cards to you guys. Kane and Joe and your other staff, they know how to get a hold of me. In fact, we've been in pretty good contact. And what I will tell you is, my phone is on 24/7.
Thank you.
And so is Justin's. If you guys ever have any questions for me, ma'am.
Thank you.
If you guys ever have any questions for me, whether it's day or night, or concerns, or thoughts, or, please don't dwell on them, call me. We'll get it straightened out. You know, it's, communication is key, and both of us are really big on that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, we appreciate your enthusiasm and passion for wastewater. It's evident from Kane's discussion with you and also the amount of time and effort that went into the agreement back and forth between our attorneys, Joe, Kane. I think it's an excellent contract, and hopefully it speaks well to everything that you wanted to put into a contract. And it's a great opportunity for us. We're to another chapter of wastewater treatment, and I'm glad you're on board to help us through that chapter because we think it's just very good, and I appreciate you guys stepping up and taking that challenge on.
Yep, so for the next couple of months, we'll be digging into, plans and specs on the plant, getting whatever kind of flow data and sampling data that we can, so that come December, we can kind of hit the ground running for you guys. It's gonna be a tough time to get you started up or get you in compliance, but we wanna have every edge that we can, so.
Yeah.
We'll also, work with Joe, and if the MPCA comes up with a corrective action plan, provide some input on
Exactly.
that as well, so.
Okay,
We're not just gonna wait till December and show up, we're gonna try to get the wheels going a little bit sooner
Okay.
and get active with it.
good. Well, I hope that, that's the next item on our agenda is the people service agreement, but I would hope there would be that type of a transition that's very accommodating and it's to everybody's benefit and the citizens as well, so we appreciate that, taxpayers.
Do you wanna sign these now, or?
Well, let's approve it
Alright.
and, with a vote, and then we'll, any other questions for?
Yeah, another thing, have you done a transition, a switch with Peoples before in other communities?
We have?
Okay, has it been?
No.
Okay. I had asked, okay, so
I would really like to tell you that it has been, but no, generally, we get zero cooperation with them, and we get a thumb drive when they go out the door and we come in, so. Knowing that though, we try to make sure that we're prepared as best we can for that, and we know that going in, so that's half the battle.
Okay. Kane, they got enough space over there for them to be able to put enough office space?
Absolutely, yep, we are all accommodating.
So you got everything all set for that, okay.
No, I have not been to the plant yet, so I know you guys are gonna be busy right out of the gate, but
Please come by anytime.
yeah.
I'll
Sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and we like that, we like for our council to come in, a lot of them don't like to, but we like for them to come in, especially at the beginning, see what the plant looks like.
Yep.
Come back 3-6 months and go, oh yeah, or you guys suck, you know, however that works out, right? But at least you have a reference point to go, okay, this is what it looked like,
Yep.
and this is what it looks like now.
Yeah.
So as we get closer to time, I wouldn't mind setting up a time,
Awesome.
either with you guys or I can get with Kane and
Yeah,
set something up, and
awesome.
it'll probably be the first of the year, like once you guys get
No,
going,
that's
but
fine.
I don't wanna also be in your way either for
Yeah.
No.
any time, so.
Well, we know going into the colder temperatures, that's been the challenge for us, so
Yep.
I feel comfortable with your experience that you'll take us through that period
Yep,
and,
I'll be scrambling for you for sure.
Quick question, I mean, I was looking at some of the pictures that you did of the tanks. Are those just gonna have to wait till spring, or can you work on trying to clean those up before you get into the really heavy winter months?
I'm hoping that, December will be kind of mellow and we can do something with them. If they're frozen, we're gonna have to wait till spring, but yeah, I'm
It'll be a
hoping.
challenge.
Cause that was pretty nasty looking stuff, so.
Yeah.
Ideally, we'd be getting in there now, but that's just not,
Yeah, it's not,
Peoples I doubt is gonna walk away, so.
yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. Any other comments? All right, the voice vote?
Mayor Eickhorst,
Aye.
Counselor Pendergrass,
I,
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Reisterfer,
Aye.
and Counselor Spring.
I,
Thank you.
Welcome aboard for moving forward, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Do you want to do a clean copy? We want to sign now?
If you'd like to
Versus waiting
sign
till
now,
the meeting's over
so that
with?
if they need to exit, maybe, we could sign their copy to take with them, they brought
Okay.
two.
Okay, let's do it. If you want to sign your copies?
I did already.
Oh, okay, great. I'm sorry. All right, super. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's get this to Mel. Make sure I don't get confused with my stuff. So with that approval, we'll continue to the next item, which is a letter to People Service. Oh, that's on page 35. So I make a motion to terminate the wastewater operations agreement with People Service
I'll second
with a
that.
service end date of November 30, 2026. And,
I'll second that.
Paul? Any comments? All right, seeing none, we'll do a voice vote.
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye.
Counselor Pendergrass.
Aye.
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Reisdorfer,
Aye.
and Counselor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, that's approved. Excellent. Next item on our agenda is a decorum policy for city council meetings. I'll just go ahead and read this clear for everybody's awareness. The purpose of this memorandum is to provide council with information regarding the establishment of a council rules of decorum policy and to seek council's direction on developing and adopting a policy specific to the municipality. Administration has reviewed rules of decorum policies utilized by several municipalities and identified their value in supporting effective local governance. While council members are expected to conduct themselves professionally and respectfully, a formal policy provides clear and consistent expectations regarding conduct during council meetings and related municipal proceedings. A rules of decorum policy can serve as a governance tool that helps maintain orderly meetings, engages respectful dialogue, supports constructive debate, and promotes public confidence in the decision-making process. The proposed policy would establish guidelines for conduct and behavior during council meetings, including expectations for professionalism, respect, civility, and appropriate interactions among council members, administration, delegates, and members of the public. Benefits of a council rules of decorum policy include promoting respectful and professional communication, supporting efficient and orderly meeting proceedings, establishing clear expectations and accountability, providing consistency in addressing disruptive and inappropriate conduct, enhancing public trust and confidence in council proceedings. Administration believes that adopting a municipality-specific policy aligns with governance best practices and would provide council with a clear framework for maintaining a respectful and productive meeting environment. The recommendation, administration recommends that council direct administration to prepare a council rules of decorum policy for council's review and consideration at a future meeting. A motion has been added to the August 18th council agenda for your consideration, and that motion has been made.
You already made
Is
the
there a
motion?
second?
Is there a second? Yeah.
I'll do a second for discussion.
Daniel or Jim?
Go ahead and give it to Jim, it's fine.
Yeah.
I got a quick question, and I'm not against this by any means. Looking back and just trying to evaluate this whole thing for why it comes up. I think that this council has worked extremely well, and there hasn't been any issues whatsoever. And so I kind of wonder why, if we're working as well, if there was an issue and somebody was disorderly and not respectful or whatever else, I think that everybody, and moving ahead, this is gonna be the next council for the next 2 years right now, at least half of that, and then it will change at that time.
Right.
You know, and I'm just wondering, putting something together out of LMC, I just don't wanna get, you know, the lawyers involved with Mike, especially since we're so over budget on anything that goes through him at this point, that I just wonder if we're not having an issue, why are we doing it, you know? That was my whole thing, and you know, if there was another reason that something had come up, then I would say,
Sure.
okay, but it was working well, you know?
Yeah. I think it's you know, it's a combination of also working for the public as well for the council. It's, if you look at, and what research staff had looked at, this is a very common thing to have. You know, I think our public minutes, what we say there is, it's very appropriate, but I do think that it's just something that I think we haven't had, but I think it's important to let the committee know and the council, if we're going forward, that we want the public itself to be aware that there is a decorum policy, and I think it's important to have that documented, you know. And it's just something that's all part of in making our council members and the general public just feeling more comfortable with having those meetings and getting the respect. And, this is something that also would affect public hearings, and just in general, I think it's just a good policy to have. I don't think anything's gonna change, but at the same time, we have a policy that helps council, when we do get into situations where there may be something that's maybe disruptive and just
Can we
good,
do
good
this
manners.
without having the lawyers involved and pull something out of LMC? Because I mean, right now, our costs, are outrageous with lawyers involved with everything that we do. I almost want to put a halt to us doing the lawyer thing as much as possible for the rest of the
Sure.
year, just due to where our budget's at. So if it needs to be a lawyer, can we put it off to next year, or can we pull something out of LMC?
So a majority of the research can be done by admin. The rules of decorum can be created by admin. What the lawyers' interaction would be a review and approval for compliance. But the
Can we put that off till next
legwork,
year, off of just because of where we're at on our budget? That's the
that's
whole
up to
thing.
yep, that's up to council. The rules of decorum would not only, apply to council, but rules of decorum also would apply to behavior of the residents and the public while we're in session. So it would kind of encompass all of that. There's no time limit or anything on this, but I think we could probably collectively work to
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Get something
if
on
we
the
can pull
record.
something together with LMC,
get something on the record.
to do it that way and even have a vote on it that way, I think that, I'm just looking at, again,
No, it's,
trying to we're over 3 times what we normally pay
yeah,
for.
and whether there's been a lot
It's
of,
gone crazy, so.
If it's gonna be reviewed,
Hasn't-
if it's gonna be reviewed by the attorney, maybe what we need to do is review what we're looking at and set it up to where we actually would vote on it in December, and it could go to the attorney after the first
Okay.
year and draw something
So-
like that to keep.
I think the other thing to consider is we could look at the administration budget, because there are leftovers from Jason's departure that we could use some of those funds to offset some of that, because this falls within that administration portfolio.
Well, again, it's a situation where we haven't had an issue with this, Marie, and we've been working this way with the council for how many years?
Yeah, but to Ryland's point, it safeguards the city. Not that there's an issue, but if there is an issue, right, we could point them to a policy and we could have that as a safeguard to the city.
Well, why don't we take a look at it and see what we come up with LMC first?
So I share your concerns with the cost, especially if it's going to the lawyer fee, but I would actually say that your point of us working well together is the reason to do it, because we can actually get something on the books. When there's not a problem, nobody's gonna feel punished for it.
And again,
And after 2 years, we've set a standard of how future councils will be interacting. So it's not necessarily protecting us from the problem now, it might be protecting the future. And so to your point exactly is like, there hasn't been an issue, but now might be the time to do it, since there isn't. So nobody's feeling singled
yeah,
out.
and again, I'm not against it, I would just, let's see what we get with LMC and take a look at it going that way first, okay?
Sure.
And come up with agreement, and then maybe at that time, if we need to go or whatever the final part of it, to go to the lawyer, but not to instantly go to the lawyer first. Let's leave that towards the end and see what we come up with.
Well, what would your time frame on putting something like this together be? And, I mean, are we looking
So
at
what Jim
27,
what Jim is saying is the administration's idea or plan.
Okay.
We're just looking for direction from council to go ahead and do the research, put something together for your review and vote on that later. The compliance review by the attorneys would be the last step before it came to council. We wouldn't have you vote on something that wasn't, deemed approved to be fully compliant. And so I think we're on the same page. It's not
Well-
something that we need to approve tonight. We don't have the language here for you. We just would like the direction to work on the project.
Yeah, and I think that LMC probably has plenty of those that are there that have already been approved by their lawyers. That's a part of League of Minnesota Cities. So, I mean, if there's something there that's already
Well, it's,
done, let's take a look at it and let's go that direction.
Well, also a lot of what you're saying, Jim, about the attorney thing, but then Marie brought up the administrative funds that are left over from Jason no longer being with us, that, you might wanna research some of that, because all of the stuff that the attorney's been doing is actually helping with administrative stuff anyway. So maybe we could find a way to use those funds to cover the excess attorney fees we've run into at this point.
yeah, it definitely
Yeah,
fits
I mean,
the
that
bucket.
again, this would be a resolution, but again, I think some of these things, I mean, what we've done is try to create some structure and some standards, right? And that's gonna help the city, one, give transparency out to everybody, but also hold us accountable as city council members too. Without that, it's hard to hold people accountable because it's not in documentation and people don't have that expectation because it's not set. So again, I think we could look at using some of those funds to do these things. But yeah, I get your point, Jim. We got to be cautious of how much we're engaging Flattery and Hood on some of these things, but we also want to make sure that we're setting the city up for success too.
No, and again, the city has not been successful or been unsuccessful. I think we've been very successful up to this point. So it's nothing that's, to me, earth-shattering and urgent that there is. I think something we can put together and work on and go that way. But I'd just like to do it, and use LMC. Like I said, we got lawyers up at LMC too, that we pay our money to LMC. Why not do that? So.
Well, LMC is a good source for information. As we all know, LMC is not our attorney,
No.
and they will say consult our attorney. So I do think that the funds that we have in the administration bucket, if you will, definitely fits in this bucket. I just feel like it's a good time to take the time and effort to do that.
And then I think Daniel was saying it correctly too, that we're on a council that agrees and gets along and doing things. So I'm not against it, I'm just trying to think of the right way to do
Yeah,
it.
no,
I think our biggest fear is what happens down the road with another council down the road may not click and make things work as well.
Never know, it changes, can
So
change.
things change, so.
I mean, any one of us could decide not to run and not be on council, and then we're looking for a new member, and here's a guide for those new members, whether it's now or 6 months or 2 years from now. It's just a good policy to have in place.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, Jason gave me a binder of rules of decorum. It wasn't like an official adopted one, but it was something I was able to go over and really kind of understand how the proceedings were going to work and what my role was going to be. So it was super helpful from that aspect of having those written and handed to me kind of as an orientation. So.
All right.
So I think
So-
we're in discussion, so,
Is there any other comments?
no.
Seeing none with the voice vote?
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye?
Counselor Pendergrass,
Aye.
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Brigstropher,
Aye.
and Counselor Spring.
All right.
Thank you.
It's approved, thank you.
So basically, this is okay just to start it, sort of.
Yeah.
Right, come back to council at a future meeting with the policy for our review, so. Excuse me, just a minute. Okay. You're still there, Marie?
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
still
okay,
here.
Thank you, all right. Next item is our 3-year residential solid waste collection contract. The current contract is with Waste Management. It was effective 24, 25, and 26. So now it's time that we start looking at the discussion, and so if somebody would like to make a motion to,
Make a motion to get started with the competitive bidding process for the residential solid waste collection contract for the next 3 years.
I'll second.
okay. So we have a motion for, to continue with our discussion. So, the one thing, and then I passed out a contract, the current contract that you have, that we have with Waste Management. And if you look at the first page, down at the very bottom, there's a reference to terms.
Ryland,
I'm sorry.
before we get too far into this, is
Yes, ma'am,
all of
sir.
this that we can discuss numbers and everything publicly, or should we be
Well,
referring to things
Yeah.
generically?
These are 3-year ago numbers.
Okay,
24 through 26.
They haven't made, we're just.
but these were not public at the time they were submitted, right?
They were not permitted, no,
Permitted, okay,
Right.
so.
just to the council.
Okay, I just wanna know how in-depth we should be talking about
Well, we don't need to talk about
numbers
numbers
and
because we
specifics,
don't have any RFPs.
Okay.
But what we can talk about is whether we want to do this, or if we look at the terms that was in the current contract, at the bottom of page 1, there's a paragraph regarding term. The term of this agreement shall be used for 3 years, commencing 1/1/2024 and expiring 12/31/2026, with one automatic extension of 1 year unless either party gives the other at least 90 days, but no more than 180 days advance notice of the intention to terminate the agreement at the end of then current contract. All notices shall be served by certified mail, return receipt requested, or by nationally recognized overnight courier service, so we have that in front of us where we can extend the contract
So we
with
have a
Waste
motion-
Management.
We have a motion and a second.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Okay, so my curiosity is, why do we ask for a contract from one provider when we could be opening it up so it'd be competitive and we would
Well, that's a good question.
let them compete throughout and you'll know more. You know, I think the, all in all for the residents, they'll get better pricing if they're allowed to compete instead of being locked into one provider.
So the spreadsheet that we did back in 2023, this contract was what was approved in December of 2023 with this extension in the contract. So that's what the option is in front of us if we want to, it's automatically going to be renewed unless we decide to terminate it.
Which will only be automatically renewed for 1 year. But, because that's what this term says.
so we'd have to
But
actually,
at any time, if we decide we want to open it up to other people, you know, because we have.
Oh, the council can decide to do that, but right now, based on the pricing that made us to this point, this was the most economical way for our residents to get the best service.
Well, I think when the residents provide their numbers to a different hauler, they might get different numbers. I don't see any reason we shouldn't be keeping it competitive. That's my point.
Sure.
If,
Well,
if I remember correctly, when we went through this 3 years ago,
Mhm.
there were some issues that were involved, and this was with the prior administrator who didn't get the stuff out in time, and I know Harders was really pretty upset of what was going on and didn't get a chance to compete the way that they wanted to, and I know it ended up being a certified letter that they had come back just to be able to get in to compete. And they kind of went back instantly to Waste Management. I think we had to put it out there. I think that that's what, we represent the residents in this town, and if we don't turn around and get competitive bids, I think it's we'd be dropping what we're supposed to be doing as a council.
Yeah, I guess I want to see us do what's best for the residents, not for a contractor.
Just to make sure I understand what you're saying, Paul, are you thinking we ought to just open it up to anybody to get
Well,
service?
I do know that I've hauled trash before into the incinerator. I do know Olmsted County only allows eight haulers to deliver in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any reason why, if there's haulers that are in the neighborhood, or say if they go out towards the Ponderosa and pick up trash, why couldn't we bid on that or talk to those people as individual residents
Yeah.
and sign on with other people? Why do we lock it in and force everybody that they can only have
Well,
one contractor pick up their garbage?
Sure.
That is us stepping in a contract between a resident and a corporation.
So, as a council, I think it's our responsibility to provide a garbage hauling service that's beneficial to the city, that come in with the lowest price, and it's for saving our streets. You know, we could have 5 companies, 10 trucks using our roads. If you have 5 companies doing recycling and trash pickup, whether it's 5 or 6, now we just have 1. We have 1 truck that goes around on our streets. And if we have multiple haulers going down our roads and streets that are just gonna deteriorate faster, so ultimately, the residents will pay for that in assessments when there's street repairs.
I really don't think.
So the council's protect,
I really
I'm
don't.
finishing, let me speak first. So I think it's important, as we as a council, to take that responsibility and say, hey, we've gone the RFP process. In December 2023, the council at that time had a 3-year contract, and here's an opportunity to extend that contract, which was the lowest bid back in December 2023, to continue. But opening it up to anybody that wants to come into our city, I think would be a very disservice to our residents and our streets and roads and noise and trucks and vehicles. Just, it doesn't make, in my opinion, other cities do it differently, but we've been doing this for 3, 6, I don't know how many years,
To me, it's been.
at least 12 years, I know.
To me, it's too long because everybody isn't allowed to go out and get their own.
Yeah, I would agree. I think with that contract, it doesn't allow for competitive bidding, and we've seen that the price goes up year over year and month over month, and we know that prices are going up, but they have no competition right now, so they can do that as much as they want. That's a disservice to our residents. So again, I don't think, from my perspective, it wouldn't hurt the city to open up an RFP, or even have a conversation of we just allow people to get their own independent garbage. But, doing this, we're kind of locking everyone in, and we're all feeling that pain. I know there's been many complaints from residents about just the expense going up, and we need to, look at that too, especially now that contract's up for renewal.
Couple of points that I have here is, one, our current time frame does not work for that term line, so we would have to terminate it a month earlier than what the timeline that is proposed here would give them the 90 days. The other point is, what is diesel right now?
Just a minute, please.
What is diesel right now? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
I've been looking at this.
5.25, so we're already at a 4% increase that even if you bill and pay for a year, at some point in the year, they'll send you a $16 bill currently
No, it's,
that you have to make up at some point because of the diesel surcharges, right?
no, not completely.
That's
So-
what they've done with me in the past.
Right now,
So what,
Increase are above $5
let
a
me
gallon.
share this with everybody.
right now, it's currently 5% annual increase.
Yeah, but there's also a diesel fuel surcharge in here that we are well into at this point with diesel prices right now.
Well, Steve,
Waste management does not allow you to choose one service versus 2. You have to have recycling, or your garbage
yeah, okay, that's
fee
true, yes.
almost triples. Like if you don't recycle, they charge you about three times the garbage fee. So I would say that we need to at least consider outside RFPs again with them.
And I agree with that. I know when we have this one going out, the way that the bid was put out 3 years ago was to have it as weekly recycling, not bi-weekly recycling. It was weekly, and that was the request that came in. And that's what Harder, and again, just using them, I know they were, I think that the RFP is the right way to go, but there was some confusion of what was going on with the RFP last time on how people were bidding on it, you know, so.
If I recall last time, to add to what you're saying, the current hauler come in with bi-weekly rates.
Right,
And if I remember right, Harder's
was
put
weekly.
put in their bid for weekly because that's what they understood it was supposed to be.
And that's what the original RFP was for weekly. So again, I just think that putting it out for an RFP is the right way to do it again. I really
Well, let me comment on, when we looked at this, if you look at the spreadsheet, our decision at that time to go with Waste Management was based off of what you see on the spreadsheet. And there's things, to look at Harder's, they only gave us a price for the 1 year. They couldn't give us a 3-year cost. The increase follows the annual CPI and a separate fuel charge card, which we didn't know what it was. And they had the least amount of commercial general liability at the time. So there was several things that LRS was able to do. If you look at LRS, I don't mean to be rehashing something we did 3 years ago, but, Department of Energy above $3.75 a gallon, well, the whole time it's been above $3.75 a gallon. And recently, now in the case of Waste Management, it's been increased to $5 a gallon. So the sheet I gave you is and per the agreement, the monthly fuel charge is based off the Department of Energy fuel cost on the first Monday of the month. So if you look at the last 36 months, there's been 4 cases where it was above $5. April of '06 was 4% fuel charge. May was 5. June went down to 4%. In July, it was there was no fuel charge, but then it jumped in August to 4%. So that's why I think we're seeing comments on Facebook. My bill changes every month. Well, that changes because of the surcharge. So that's just one clarification. So I think that's important to make sure we understand exactly why we're seeing those price increases, because it is of the surcharge.
No, and I agree with that. I mean, and if you look at LRS, they had a 4% annual increase, and Waste Management had a 5%. I think that the best way to do it is put it out for an RFP, and if Waste Management wins again, Waste Management wins again,
Okay.
If not, at least we're, I think, doing the right thing at for the residents and doing an RFP so that we take a look and see what the rates are.
Now, are Harder's and LRS, are these bids that were provided 3 years ago, that was assuming that they're the only ones allowed to collect in the city, or?
No,
They're the only ones that put in
That
proposals.
responded, they're the ones that responded.
Just wait.
But is Waste Management the only one that has,
Residential.
that put the contract in, that they could be the only residential?
Good
or-
question. I'd have to go back and look at the
Or
contracts.
would those two allow for somebody to go outside, and even if they have to pay more to go with a different company or a different hauler, that's still their choice to do.
You have the contract
Right.
in front of you, you can read it and find it.
Well,
See if it's in there.
Waste Management has it. I don't know if the other two, when they put their proposal
I'd have
through,
to go and look at the reference.
I mean, because that could be,
So one thing we can, just to speak to the 1-year automatic extension, we can go to Waste Management, we can say, okay, we want a 1-year extension, but we don't want the additional fuel increase. Take it off the board, and that's been discussed. We could also look at lowering the prices for this 1-year review too. So there are ways in working with Waste Management based on this agreement for the 1-year automatic extension to give us better pricing than what we have today. So we give you a 1-year extension if you remove the diesel fuel increase per gallon, period. Then we ask for a 10% reduction in price. that, to me, that's negotiable with getting this 1-year extension. A year from now, then we can go out for an RFP. But I do think there is some things we can save in addition to what we're saving today based on the contract that we signed in early 2024.
See, if we don't, what you're saying is if we don't give them the 90 days, it's automatically a 1-year extension.
Right, yeah.
So we have to let them know by the 1st of October.
So I do believe there is a possibility to get even better pricing for the coming year, but that's,
So is that something that we can do before the next council meeting, is get something like that negotiated, and then we can make the decision
I think they're
to
open
extend
to
it
it.
or not?
Yeah,
Yeah, because again, I know diesel is up at that point, we're in a unique situation that there is right now nationally, that you don't know if that's gonna turn on and slowly change. Price of diesel could be back down to $3.50.
yeah.
You know, and so, I mean, it's not like it's constantly going up, you know what I'm trying to say, you know. If you wanna do that, I think that Daniel's got the right idea, see what you can come up with what they can do within the next 30 days, but I think other than that, we've gotta go out for an RFP.
Well, that's September, October, so that's our 90 days, yeah.
So we would have to have something and vote on it one way or another at the next meeting
Yeah.
to do the
Right.
90-day. And we'd be cutting it close within 2 weeks, so.
They may say, no, we're, I'm just talking, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
Right,
and
no, I
again,
think that's a great idea, but
Yeah, but I think that I'm not gonna extend it for another 3 years. I think that we need to go out and get some pricing with an RFP, the way we need to look at things.
If the council doesn't like what they're proposing for an extension, that's our position, we can do that.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that, but I just think there's opportunities to get lower price.
Let's see what you can come up with.
Okay. So the motion we have on the table, if you vote nay, the motion dies and we'll continue to come
you
back
just
in the
want me to
September
amend
meeting.
my motion
What's that?
to table this
Oh,
until
that's
we
the other
have a
option.
discussion
I think that that's the
with.
right way to
Alright,
do
I'm
it.
Yeah,
gonna
we can do that.
amend my motion
Yes.
to table this until next month. With the understanding that we're going to be reaching out to see what kind of changes we can have to the current contract for the 1-year extension.
Right.
And I'll second that, so.
Okay. Marie, I'm sorry, did you have any comments? Additional?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
All right, thank you. So the motion, I guess we should vote on the amendment to the motion.
Can I just ask, Joe, do you have any comments on the road wear on multiple trucks or?
I would just reinforce what Ryland mentioned. I've seen cities where you can literally see the route of the trash trucks. They are hard on your streets, and I think it's worth considering minimizing the number of companies that serve your citizens, because it just is that many fewer trips, and it does make a difference.
Okay. And we know that these 2 other companies are full-sized garbage collection trucks. They're not
Yeah.
pickup
Oh, no,
trucks
these
pulling
are-
a
yeah.
hay trailer, right?
If you go to Rochester, you'll see Harders that there are,
Okay.
you'll see the red cans, I mean, they're reputable, and same LRS, I mean, if you go commercial and you watch what they're, all 3 of these are good companies that are good local companies.
Okay. There's no other discussion, let's vote on the amendment to the motion.
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye?
Counselor Pendergrass.
Aye.
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Reisdorfer,
Aye.
and Counselor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else there? Okay, we'll bring it back at September 15th and we'll have administration talk to waste management. Okay, if Fire department had a council report. There was a couple of sheets that was handed out to us at the beginning of the meeting. I think they're just monthly reports
Yeah, that's,
from first responders and.
yeah, first responders, not for fire, so. So, is it an Explorer
I guess
program,
no,
a new
that's-
one that
that's
there
more.
is that you guys have opening up there for those guys? For first responders? Or- Okay, no, come on.
We approved both of those last, July one and then our special meeting, we approved both of those Explorers.
Okay, no, I think that that's just new though, isn't it, for the Explorer program?
We have no new.
For first responders? Okay.
We only have the, well, we actually do have currently.
You guys come to the podium, please. Thank you.
First time walking up here. So currently have one Explorer still, which is Schrader. And so he would be the only one that has yet to cross over to the department. And then Melanie was the other one that transferred from Explorers to the department. So it's just Schrader left, so we just have one. And I think that's about it for the Explorers.
Have one Explorer.
We have one Explorer left.
Okay,
yes.
okay. And they're not permitted to drive vehicles, correct?
Explorers cannot.
Yeah, okay. All right. Any other comments for,
I think that's mostly it.
okay, we'll include the first responders and meeting minutes in the consent agenda too, when you publish it. Yeah. Any other comments in the report? All right. Next item is resolution 2026-17. I make a motion, we approve resolution 2026-17, accepting 10% gambling contributions for July in the amount of $485.70.
Second.
Is that, the calculation there? That's for probably the machine, putting the machines in and,
No, this is just for the profit that comes out of it, so the machines and everything have to come out before that.
I think
right,
he's
but
referring
I'm just
to
asking the calculation page where there's the
It's on page
subtraction,
40.
right?
Yeah.
the $2,000 thing for Greeners
That's,
Club
I'm assuming that's just to install the machines.
and the tabs.
The 10% to actually get the tabs in there and the machines in there, correct? Okay.
The machines are there, have you looked at them, seen them? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna buy some stuff, but they're super full right now, so.
It's gonna be a nice ad.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah.
All right. Any other comments regarding the resolution? Seeing none, we'll do a voice vote.
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye.
Councilor Pendergrass.
Aye.
Councilor Phillips.
Aye.
Councilor Reisdorfer.
Aye.
And Councilor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is Parks and Trails. You want to speak to that, Daniel?
So I am coaching a 10 and 11U baseball team that is requesting continued use of Memorial Park. It's pretty much the same group of kids, a little smaller group actually. And we're just gonna be doing Monday and Wednesday practice, and we're gonna probably adjust our time as it starts getting darker. So this is just a extension over the summer request with kind of the same exact terms.
You want to make a motion to continue?
Sorry,
Pardon?
I will probably abstain.
I'll
From,
you're
make a motion, I'll make a motion to extend that use for Pine Island to use Memorial Park, through October.
I'll second that.
Jim, thanks. Okay, please, go ahead.
sorry, so again, yeah, it's the same group. This is fall baseball. A little bit smaller team, but 2 nights a week, and we're just gonna continue to keep up the field. Leave it how we found it and a little bit nicer, drag it when we need it, and city shouldn't have to do much with it.
Okay.
Okay, just out of curiosity, has that been working out okay for you guys?
No issues.
Okay, just wanted to check.
So,
This was also approved at Parks and Trails in August.
Okay. Parks and Trails, have any other comments, Marie?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other comments? It's a great program. Thanks for being involved. If there's no other comments, all those in favor signify by saying voice vote.
Mayor
Voice
Ikorst,
Aye.
Counselor Pendergrass,
Voice vote.
Counselor Phillips,
Aye.
Counselor Rice-Dorfer,
Aye.
and Counselor Spring.
I'll abstain.
Thank you.
You abstain?
Yeah.
For the chair.
Good coach. All right, the next item is consent agenda. I make a motion we approve consent agenda.
Second.
I got a couple things I wanted to take a look at if I could, on the consent agenda.
Okay,
Looking at, two things, page 65. Professional services. It's gonna be 42,302 for a planning service of, we had budgeted 70, we're at 95,000.
That's SCH. We're waiting on $89,000 reimbursement.
Okay, thank you for that. That answers that question off of that one. And again, I have to draw attention to our legal fees, which is 42,305. Our budget's for 20, we're at 52,000, which is 263% over. And we still had another $3,461 this past month. Somehow we have to get that under control, or maybe have council watch what we're doing to before we spend it, to see what's really necessary and what isn't.
Now, we should look and see how Flattery and Hood are charging us for that job classification study. And ensure that's coming out of a different pot, because that was out of the 2025 budget.
So we just received the invoice for the third installment of that classification study. That is the 3,000 some odd dollars that Jim's referring to. That's the third installment. Because of the way that council decided to fund that study, you're correct, a journal entry does need to happen. But the total amount is $12,000. So 12,000 out of the 263% that we're over is that job classification study. But we can certainly look at the breakdown and do a kind of a reconciliation of the rest of what's gone through there.
Yeah, I think we should, just to make sure that it's hitting the right cost center.
Yeah, because we're only looking at half the year right now. This is only through July. You know, we're at this pace, it's, we can't do it.
I just want to point out that we've had some interesting situations that we needed legal to be involved in as well. And hopefully that has, we've finished those and we don't have any more unique situations.
activity for July was $3,400, so,
Yeah, I mentioned that.
okay.
Okay, and I was looking at the water sewer utility on page 76, entry 42,402. Future engineering at $17,000. For a balance this last month, $6,077. So we didn't budget anything that there is for the year, and we're running right now at $17,000.
So that is gonna be an in and out, that's phase 1B PFA.
Okay.
So right now we have made those payments, some payments to Stantec, and those reimbursements have been submitted and we're waiting for reimbursement. The majority of that P1B line, that's all reimbursable. at this time.
That's that stuff we approved last month. if I
Up to,
remember
we had like $40,000.
Okay. Thank you.
I have one thing to pull out of consent, if you're done, Jim.
Yeah, no, those were kind of the ones that I was kind of glancing at that just kind of jumped out at me.
Okay, I had a question on planning and zoning meetings from July for old business. There's a second bullet on there. It says RFP draft workshops postponed indefinitely until new city staff are hired. What does that mean?
So it was our discussion of, after it came to council, when we came to the RFP discussion to council and we did the work, we actually scheduled some workshops to start the RFP, but because we had Jason leave, we decided that we would not be continuing to do those workshops until staff got into a position where they could handle writing that RFP.
Oh, okay,
so-
I get it, okay.
So
Yep, now it's,
yep.
okay, that's 3 gigabell. I wasn't sure, it was vague, so I wasn't sure what that meant.
We've had a lot of, if we don't have an agenda, we don't generally have a meeting, and so that was probably held over from a couple of months. I think Kathy likes to keep things on there so they just don't fall and get brushed under the table, so nothing gets forgotten. So she'll keep stuff on there until we have a chance to discuss it in the meeting. And so that, I know that's probably pretty old, but that was probably the first time we got a chance to actually give P and Z the update from council. If that makes sense.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
helpful, thank you.
I got a question for you, Daniel.
Yeah.
On the same minutes, on all of these lines, it shows like a number and a colon and another number. What's that? I've never seen that in
These
there.
look like timestamps from the video or I would
Where those
imagine
discussions
those are,
are.
I would
we're
imagine that
Talking
these are,
specifically about planning and zoning.
yeah.
So planning and zoning, we're trying to figure out a way to get them caught up on their minutes. We don't have minutes archived from planning and zoning for the past 24 months. So we are experimenting with using the YouTube recordings of their meetings and doing an AI summary, pulling that from the meeting. So I think the AI summary is pulling in the timestamps where you can reference what's being said
Okay, so those are reference points.
Yeah, those are reference points
for the video.
for the
That's kind of what I
video.
was thinking.
Yep.
Okay. Well, one thing I want to ask, we got into last month when we approved setting up for the EDA to sell the drain field down at River Park. But the EDA minutes refer to development of it. On page 89, it says,
Okay.
we're waiting to hear back from attorneys. Riley shared that the city council voted to proceed with development. Well, we didn't proceed with development. We agreed we wanted to sell it. And then in here, it talks, in the last 2 lines, it says the loan would be paid back once the housing parcel was sold.
So
We're borrowing money.
so we agreed to sell the lots individually, which would require us to get it platted as a city and develop it with a plan of how the lots are gonna be laid out. And I don't know if it has to go with how connections are going to be made. I don't know how in-depth they have to be, but we have to have it platted in order to sell the lots individually.
That's why I thought we were selling the whole thing as one parcel.
The decision was to do separate ones, but the work needed to get ready to do sell it, there's some work that needs to be done with regarding DNR because of its closeness to the
Sure.
river, just like shoreline ordinances, and Joe, if you want to speak to as well, but there's things that Jack had to do himself before he developed it, and we got to follow up with the DNR and making sure the lot sizes are appropriate for where it's located. Is
Well, one of my questions on that would be, when the shoreline ordinance, when River Park was done in the first place, wouldn't those shoreline ordinances pertain to the entire parcel regardless of when it was pieced off?
Yeah, I think that it's important to revisit how the kind of project was permitted and how it complied with shoreline ordinance as well as, the DNR review. The shoreline ordinance kind of lays out some requirements of that plating in terms of impervious area, in terms of public open space, and then there's tiered density requirements. And so the recommendation that we made is that we review that and relook at that and see what role the Outlot A open space, green space played in that calculation. If that were no longer solely green space, what ramification would that have? And, then we have to, see if it would still comply or, see what the thought process was 20 years ago. And if it would meet
Hasn't
standards, because there's a
changed.
chance it might not. And so before we do anything else, we need to kind of make sure that we look at that. We looked at the legal side of it with Mike and his team, and now looking at the, compliance to that ordinance is important.
I just want to be clear on this, so I
Yeah.
understood what's going on, so.
Yeah, no, it's,
Yeah, and I don't think that so I think that the council vote was to sell it and give the EDA the ability to determine or recommend the best direction coming back to council, whether it be a whole lot, like sell it as one, or do this section. And so,
That was my understanding
yeah,
too,
that
so-
was, so I don't know that I think the EDA minutes show that that's the path that we would be recommending is to be moving forward with individual lots.
What sparked my biggest thought on it was, had to do with loan.
Yeah,
And repaying a loan out of the proceeds of the sale, when I specifically wanted to see the proceeds of the sale of that property to go towards a future replacement of
Whatever,
this
yeah.
facility.
yeah.
to be determined, but that's,
Yeah.
just to reconfirm, any sales will come to council's approval.
I understand.
The EDA is not doing that, but I think our discussion was, we think it's better for the city to sell those lots individually versus one whole development.
Yeah, if the cost of developing it's half a lot or even just one of the 8 or 9 lots, that'll be well worth it. And I think that's the loan that is being referred to, is we can actually take a loan from the city, sell the first lot, pay back that loan to the city.
That's just what triggered my
Yep.
my thought pattern on that. So.
Okay, no, clear question.
Clarification. Thank
Yep.
you.
There's no other comments?
Motion to adjourn?
Voice vote for the consent agenda?
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye?
Counselor Pendergrass.
Aye.
Counselor Phillips.
Aye.
Counselor Weisdorfer,
Aye.
and Counselor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
Now, a motion to adjourn.
Jim? I'll second that.
Never hesitates to get a
Motion
second on
to
that, do they?
adjourn at 7:51.
Mayor Ikorst,
Aye?
Counselor Pendergrass.
Aye.
Counselor Phillips.
Aye.
Counselor Weisdorfer,
Aye.
and Counselor Spring.
Aye.
Thank you.
I guess I shouldn't have said anything. I should have waited for discussion.
Motion adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For some reason, Ryland doesn't ask for a lot of discussion on that one.
What's that?
On the motion to adjourn.
You said what?
I don't
Some
think
reason
anyone's
you
gonna
never
argue.
asked for a motion.
Thank you, Marie. Oh, she's gone already. That's good.
For some reason, you don't ever ask for discussion on
I've got,
motion to adjourn.
Not yet.
Chatfield sent me a whole bunch of information
Okay.
from what we talked about the other day.
Yes,
And Pine Island, they sent me their breakdown.
great.